Great. Well, my name is Aaron Reitz. I'm running for Attorney General. And look, I think that we are in a battle for the soul of our state and our nation. I think we're in an existential conflict with the forces of the left. And I know from personal experience that the primary arena in which we combat those dark forces of the left is the justice system. President Trump understood this. It's what he campaigned on. It's what he won on. It's why he brought me as one of the very first senior executives to the Justice Department. When he nominated me for my post at DOJ just less than a year ago, he said, Aaron Reitz is a true MAGA attorney and a warrior for the Constitution. That's exactly what we need as the next Attorney General. There's a reason for that. He looked at my background. He saw somebody who, out of Texas A&M as an undergrad, served as an officer in the United States Marine Corps, went to Afghanistan. After 5 years on active duty, got out, went to law school, led nationally recognized conservative legal groups, even as a law student, clerked on the Texas Supreme Court, several years private practice, Attorney General Ken Paxton's deputy, Ted Cruz's chief, all that good stuff. And I'm happily married to my high school sweetheart, and together we have 4 kids. We're from San Antonio, and we are ready to advance the America First Law and Order agenda as AG. Well, I'm the only one in this race that has an actual record, a winning record, litigating, investigating, suing, defending, and appealing on all of the major issues that wise county Republicans and conservatives really care about. Now, look, your listeners, you may be hearing me for the first time. You may be someone who's into election integrity, the Second Amendment, religious liberty, pro-life, redistricting, eradicating wokeism, K through 12 education, higher education. You pick the issue, border security, illegal immigration. You pick the issue. And I have led legal troops into legal combat on all of those issues and more. Remember, we haven't had to choose an AG in an open primary in over a decade. And so conservatives are looking at this job and they're asking themselves, okay, well, what kind of qualities do I want out of my attorney general? Well, I direct people to Article 4, Section 22 of the Texas Constitution. It says, quote, the attorney general shall represent the state of Texas in all courts and pleas. This is a legal law enforcement executive branch job. So when you ask yourselves, what qualifies me? Don't listen to my opponents who are only going to give you their legislative record. None of them have the winning legal record. It's why Trump brought me into DOJ. It's why I was Paxton's deputy. It's why Paxton endorsed me to succeed him. We are hiring our chief legal officer. I'm the junkyard dog that is ready to go to war against the forces of the left up and down the justice system. Great question. Look, at the end of the day, I want to be clear. Islamists and the Islamification that's happening right now in Texas is incompatible with Western and American civilization. Amen. The Islamists have no place here. And our founding fathers, when they built this nation, are turning in their graves at the thought of Middle Eastern Islamists, not only relocating here 1 or 2 at a time, but bringing with them generations, building whole separate communities, just like Epic City. I want to be clear, and I actually wrote about this in the Daily Wire. Folks can Google my name, Aaron Reitz, Epic City Daily Wire. I wrote an op-ed about this back in July. Of course, my opponents are now cheating off of all my notes because they realize I know what I'm talking about.
Flattery's the best thing.
I know, I agree. But here's what we're going to do. We are going to, when I'm Attorney General, I'm going to treat the Islamists in Texas like the feds treated the mafia in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Remember, ask yourself this.
Oh, yeah, I remember big time.
Well, how many of those mob bosses did we put behind bars for murder? Not many, but we knew what they were doing. So what did we do? We smoked them out on financial crimes, tax crimes, racketeering, money laundering, process crimes, all these other things. That's exactly right. So we choked them out to make it impossible to even operate. I want to make Texas, I want to create a legal environment as AG that makes it impossible for the Islamists to even think about moving here so that they'll just self-deport right back to Somalia, wherever they came from. Well, look, and so, you quote that provision of the Texas Constitution, and some people think that you're crazy for even suggesting it. Well, that language in the Texas Constitution mirrors almost word for word the opening lines of the American Declaration of Independence. So it is not without precedent that when in the course of human events, it becomes necessary to break the long bonds that you've otherwise had that have served its purpose for however many hundreds of years. Our forefathers had to make that decision with respect to Great Britain. And in the future, maybe in our lifetimes, maybe in our children's or our grandchildren's lifetime, that situation may come. But I also want to say this about the invasion. It's not just millions of illegal aliens who have invaded this country. It's tens of millions of illegal aliens. During those years, during the Biden years, I was Ken Paxton's offensive coordinator. I was responsible for litigating on behalf of the state of Texas over and over and over and over again to secure our border. So vast is my winning record to secure the border, to block the invasion of illegal aliens, and to deport illegal aliens that the National Border Patrol Council endorsed me as the next Attorney General of Texas. Border security and the mass deportation agenda is a major thing that I got brought into the Justice Department to do under President Trump when I was the head of the Office of Legal Policy. And so if you are looking for an Attorney General who is ready to accelerate the identification, arrest, detention, and rapid deportation of millions of illegal aliens, I'm your Attorney General that can effectuate that. Yeah, so what's interesting, you're asking me this question on the day in which that bill has become effective, right? Here we are, that bill passed during the special legislative session. It is effective today at the time that we're speaking, right?
Really?
Yes, absolutely right. And so my bottom line answer to your question is this law needs to be enforced and pursued with extreme energy and zeal. Now, look, any candidate is going to sit in front of you and say that. The difference between me and the other candidates who are going to talk a big game about litigating for pro-life issues and anti-abortion issues, I'm the only one with an actual record litigating, investigating, suing, defending, and appealing not just abortion providers, but abortion pill providers, as well as the political jurisdictions, whether it's state or local governments that have that are manufacturing and then mailing those pills. And so, as Attorney General, I expect to see all kinds of aggressive action to go after blue states, blue jurisdictions, as well as the medical providers and manufacturers that are effectuating the flooding of Texas with abortion pills. Texas is a pro-life state. Abortion is illegal in Texas. And yet these blue cities, blue states, and the abortion pill manufacturers are trying to find workarounds. Thanks to this law, I think now if we breathe life into it, we're going to see the pro-life agenda advance in an even stronger way moving forward.
And if you go after the law, I mean, in other words, what do you call it? Do the law. What do you call it?
Well, you effectuate it. You enforce the law. You enforce the law. That's what the AG does, right? I mean, this is an important thing, and I know we're getting off script for just a second, but this is the important thing. This is why I always talk about this being a legal executive branch law enforcement job. Many grassroots people, like myself, often think about politics in terms of what the legislature does or doesn't do, what bills pass. Well, I'm here to tell you, as somebody who spent his entire career in legal combat, at the end of the day, you can pass all the good bills that you want, but when the ink is dry on the governor's signature and the bill numbers get reprinted in the law books and get put on the shelf, if you don't have an attorney general who knows how to go to those law books, goes to the legal library, brings those laws off the shelf and breathes life into them and to enforce them, all you've got are words on a page. That's the difference between me and my opponents is I know how not just to build the weapons or the tools, I know how to use those tools. But I sued the 46th president 46 times. I won 85% of those cases. There is no one, not even close in this field for AG, who has even the slightest idea what they're doing when it comes to litigating the federal government. I'm the only one with a record doing that. And in fact, when President Trump brought me into the Justice Department, he specifically cited my long and winning legal record going to war against an overreaching federal government. Now, today we have an ally in the White House. I expect, as someone who's going to be the next Attorney General, but also someone who is in a presidentially appointed, Senate-confirmed, senior executive position at the Justice Department, in which I got my job offer directly from President Trump. You're not going to find an AG who is better able to integrate, call up the White House, call up DOJ, call up DHS, ICE, FBI, who can say, hey, we've got to align our resources and our missions. We got to get our oars rowing in the same direction. No one else is going to be able to do that. I just came from that. Those are my former colleagues that I'm going to be able to partner with to advance the America First law and order agenda here in Texas. If in 2028 a Democrat wins that seat, which God forbid they do, it's time to go to war. And I'm the only one who's been to war and won against Democrats in the White House.